Fellas and amigos, this is the Patron. We're back with another episode of If My Heart Had Wings. Now, sorry this particular series took a while to get to on the channel, but I had some issues with it and yada yada yada, but hopefully I'll be able to make up for that in this episode. Let's see how it goes. I realized that everyone was covered in dirt, and it seemed that today's bath would feel especially good. And in that manner, the preparations for the test flight gradually proceeded. We were doing everything for the first time, and we took even the tedious jobs with a feeling of freshness. Then, one day in August, at long last... Hey! Hey! We actually did it! We did it! Yeah, we did? The main wings were finally completed. Everyone looked at the giant, white-painted wings with a feeling that is indescribable. So many things happened for us to get this far. And it was worth it, wasn't it? Why are you sad, Kotori? We did it, Kotori! Yeah! Yeah! Kotori looks tearful due to all the emotion. Why are you getting all tearful for? I just worked so hard, and now it looks like the real thing. I've never done anything like this before. I know she feels. However, it's still too early, right? That's right. Let's do that after it's taken flight. You're right. Kotori wipes her eyes on her arm and renews her motivation. See, that's the spirit, Kotori. There are no distortions, and the surface is as smooth as it can be. Senpai looks uncharacteristically serious as she checks over the two completed main wings. Distortions inhibited the normal flow of air, reducing lift. Also, unevenness and scratches on the surface, even those so fine that they cannot be seen by the naked eye, cause friction and create drag. These are good wings. Yeah. With Senpai's seal of approval, Aga and Kotori high-five each other and punch the air. At some point, these two had formed a great partnership. These can really fly, can't they? Yeah, it can fly. That's what I like to hear. Finally, we can do the test flight tomorrow. Yeah, yeah. The moment we all been waiting for. Okay. And stop. Early morning, it's finally time for the test flight. In order to do that, we have to take the glider to the runway. We put the glider on a special trailer, and it will be towed by a truck. So it's finished, at long last. Anchan, who had brought the small truck inside the school from the factory, spoke quietly to himself when he saw the wings that had been loaded onto the trailer. Yeah, we did it. All Senpai's work. Mostly Senpai. We helped a little, but it was mostly Senpai. Senpai has... Oops, I accidentally hit my mic. Senpai has to have most of the credit here. It's her idea, her work. Hell yeah. By the way, we received permission for Anchan to bring his truck to the school grounds. That was the first time I had seen the advisor, Mr. Y. As I imagined, he was an honest and good person, but seemed a little timid. Okay, done, Anchan. Aga lifted her head to let us know that the trailer had been connected to the truck. Make sure that the aircraft doesn't rub against the inside of the trailer. The glider had been separated into several parts and loaded into the trailer. If they aren't firmly secured, or if there is any friction during the transportation, it is possible that they may be damaged. These parts are a little loose, isn't it? Aga, could you grab a towel? I put the towel into the gap to act as cushioning. That should do it. Okay then, shall we get going? Cody's in the passenger seat, and the rest of you can get on the cargo bed. Hey, you guys, give me a hand, will ya? Aga and I lift up Kotori and put her down on the passenger seat. I could've gone into the back too, though. Kotori grumbles a little. I can't say I don't know how she feels. Jeez. Aga and I take her wheelchair and get into the cargo bed of the truck. Is everything ready? Okay! Alright, here we go. He starts the engine, and the truck tows the trailer along. Ooh boy! Here we go, baby! Oh yeah! Hey everyone! As we arrive at the runway, Senpai, who had gotten here first, waved her hand to greet us. An-chan parked the truck next to the runway and we jumped out of the cargo bed. That was fun. I've always wanted to ride in the cargo bed of a truck. You do look like you're enjoying yourselves. We helped Kotori, who seemed quite dejected, out of the passenger seat and into the wheelchair. While we do that, An-chan disconnects the trailer from the truck. Hey, Tatsuya.
Hey there, Amane.
Sorry to have asked you to help out like this.
What? Don't mention it. I'd do anything for these guys.
Yeah.
Also, not like I have nothing to do with it. I'm a previous member of the club, after all.
Oh, yeah.
To tell you the truth, I really wanted to see this thing fly.
An-chan, are you leaving? I was listening from a little further away, but I couldn't help but butting in.
I've got work to do.
What? We wanted you to see it too, An-chan.
It's okay. You can fly from here. I can see it from the factory.
Make sure you watch out for it.
Sure. So you better do it properly.
Oh, we will, An-chan. The glory of Senpai. We will. An-chan gives a great big smile and then goes to leave in the truck. As soon as An-chan left, we immediately began the assembly. Oh, we can actually see what it looks like. Fully built! Ah! Oh, we've been waiting for this for 27 episodes and almost a year and a few months. But it's coming to fruition, if I use the correct English terminology. The aircraft is still in pieces on the trailer. First, we put the fuels ledge on the ground, then we take out the two main wings. Kotori, keep an eye on and make sure it doesn't hit anything. Okay. Ageha, Senpai, and I lift up one of the main wings and attach it to the fuels ledge. Be careful with the wind. Even with this amount of wind, lift might be generated. If a strong wind were to blow straight into this, the lift generated would send the wing and us with it flying. After attaching the main wings, next is the horizontal tailplane. Slowly. We carefully assemble it, making sure not to bump into anything and scratch it. Wow! Hell yeah! Standing in front of the completed glider, we are all filled with deep emotion. So this is what it looks like. It's huge. But it's beautiful! Until now, we didn't really know what it would be like to see the full view of our very own aircraft. Compared to the regular planes that we are all familiar with, it kind of looks odd. In particular, the usual long wings that we had completed the day before looked really unbalanced compared to the slightly stubby looking fuselage. But I wonder, looking at each part and knowing that in order to fly, there was a reason for all of it, it feels like something incredibly beautiful. Let's begin the checks. Senpai, holding the printed out checklist in one hand, gives out instructions to everyone. Do we all have the tools? Everything is here. Before we fly, we have to make sure that we all have the tools used in assembly. If there's anything missing, it's also that it's still attached to the aircraft. In such an event, it could cause a huge accident. Air in the tires? There's enough in them. Are there any blockage in the pilot tubes? They're okay. In that case, there's a wide range of different things to check. We check for wear and tear on the aircraft, and even check to see if there's any bugs that have nested anywhere. At a glance, some of it might seem silly, but when we consider that we'll be flying through the air in this thing, we can't really say that. For example, if a bug jams one of the instruments, it could possibly have a negative effect on the pilot and may cause an accident. That's why we must check these things before the flight. And as soon as we fly in the air, we don't want to... You got that? By assembling the glider and doing all the checks ourselves, we were able to gain a deeper understanding of the glider. Senpai said that she had made some revisions to the checklist made by one of the old members. Okay, next is the positive control check. As she says that, Senpai gets into the cockpit. Right air, Lloyd?
Aileron?
The rest of us, standing outside, go to the part that she calls out. In this case, the right aileron and hold onto it, making it hard to move. Senpai moves the yoke to operate the whatever. At this time, if the yoke can be moved with no resistance whatsoever, it's possible that the couplings between the yoke and the airloin have been cut. If this were a car, it would be moving like the steering wheel and the wheels not turning. Needless to say, that would be extremely dangerous. These checks are also carried out on the rudder and the elevator. Everything's okay.
Okay, Ayo, can you get into the back seat?
I'm not pilot? Senpai gets out and I sit in the back seat. Then, we repeat the same checks.
Laps and dry brakes are fine.
Wait, am I piloting or am I not? Or am I confused with back seat to front seat thing on airplanes? Or gliders, be more specific. Now that the assembly checks have all been completed, I get out of the cockpit. Everyone lines up for the briefing.
The wind is calm today, and it's a perfect day for a test flight.
Senpai, who would normally be explaining the precautions at this point, speaks with a gloomy look on her face that contradicts the things she is saying.
That's why there's nothing to worry about. It will definitely go well.
You're the one who's worried, Amane.
Oh.
Kotori speaks quite fucking English. I love it. And Senpai freezes up. Then, shake. She starts trembling.
If there's no wind, the glider can't fly. That being the case, today is not a good day to fly.
Hey, what are you talking about? Hey, Kotori, what did you say that for?
Well, I didn't mean anything by it. Okay, let's cancel for today. We practiced assembling it, so that's enough for now.
Senpai? I don't like that look on your face. I mean, usual looks on your face I like. But this look right now, I don't like.
Hey! What is this all about? After doing all this, we're going to fly it, aren't we? Well, you guys are just beginners, so you don't really know, but when flying a glider, usually more windy conditions are... Amine, you're just scared, aren't you? But... At times like this, you just have to write a Chinese character on the palm of your hand over and over, then swallow it.
Swallow it? Swallow the ink? Swallow your hand? Swallow the character? I am confused. That's a weird thing to do, but I'm not judging. Even though I just said it's weird. I'm not judging.
No way. I don't believe in superstitions like that.
She sounded like a kid when she said that. It'll be fine. The wind is blowing calmly, so we should be able to fly stably. I think so too.
No way. I'm scared.
Oh, she said she's scared.
Then we have no choice, Ageha. Ayo?
Oh no. Oh, poor Senpai. Oh, poor Senpai. At Kotori signal, Aga and I hold Senpai firmly from each side. What side? Firmly where?
Whoa. What are you doing?
Sorry, Amane. It's for your own good, even though I really don't want to. You're my senpai. Now you won't even notice me at all because I'm doing this stupid shit.
Stop it. Let me go.
While we hold onto Senpai as she struggles against us, Kotori writes the Chinese character for person on the palm of her hand a ridiculous number of times. Oh, I thought we were going to put her in the glider and then fly. She would have been pissed. I think I'm good.
Writing it as many times should be enough.
Then Kotori takes a run-up. Hey, there's no need to take a run-up. I am very confused.
No, Stop!
I'm sorry, Senpai! I didn't want this. Why are they doing this? I don't know. We could have just listened to Senpai and waited for another day, but we're hurting her and this is making me feel bad. Rather than making her eat the person characters, Kotori slaps her right in the face. It was just like the kind of thing that happens in pro wrestling. There were 3 bad guys team up to hurt one of the good guys.
About that, you're not scared now, are you? Oh, my nose.
Having had some fighting spirit slapped in her, Senpai holds her nose.
Looks like it worked a little too well.
Why did you slap her in the face like that? If Amade's nose shrinks because of that, you'll have ruined her good looks. Yeah. Why the fuck did you do that?
I'm going to slit your throat and eat your brain and your sleep. Because you were my senpai.
Okay. This is totally crazy. Senpai, are you alright?
I'm fine. Thanks, everyone. I feel a little braver now.
That actually worked? The fuck? Giving a little smile, Senpai walks toward the winch.
Alright, it worked!
Very surprised.
Ouch!
What do you mean?
Ah!
I'm gonna use my idea!
Ow, ow, ow! What are you two doing?
Cody traced after us as we went off ahead. I'm so confused. But I'm enjoying every minute. Except for the Senpai being hit part. I don't really like that. But if it works, I guess. On one side of the runway is a huge thing that looks like a household generator. This is the winch. A glider, which has no thrust of its own, cannot fly into the air by itself. There are a few different ways for it to take off. A method using a towing plane is often used, where a regular plane is used to tow the glider into the air, where it is then released. This can be done if you get into a certain altitude to begin with. However, if you don't have an airplane, which are expensive, you have to use another method. That's where the winch comes in. To explain it simply, it's a machine which reels in a rope using a giant motor. The glider is connected to the end of the rope, which is then lifted to a great height to make it take off, just like the kites that are flown on New Year. The difference is that the glider is huge and quite heavy. Naturally, the winch has to be huge too.
At first, we use full power. Once the aircraft reaches an angle about 30 degrees, we gradually decrease the power.
Okay. Senpai is teaching Kotori how to use the winch. She already explained this a few days ago, and we tried operating it before, so now it's just a recap. Our roles for today are that Senpai and I are the pilots. Kotori operates the winch, and Aga helps with the takeoff and landing, as well as ground control. By the way, the winch isn't as expensive as a plane, but appears to be quite pricey. It was used by previous members of the Soaring Club. It has been maintained and is now will actually be put into use. So it's been in service for many years. To be honest, the equipment here goes way beyond the scope of high school club activities. Oh, I bet.
Okay, I've got it. Well then, let's get ready to take off.
All right. We walk back from the winch towards the aircraft. It's about 1 kilometer away, so it takes a while. Senpai gets in the front seat, and following her, I get into the back seat. Fasten your seatbelt. As Akea tells me to do this, I check the seatbelt several times.
Can your feet reach the pedals? Are there any parts that are hard to move?
It's okay. So beautiful. Oh, this could be it. The canopy, the transparent lid that covers the cockpit, is closed.
Check that the canopy is locked.
Okay. I check the lock. If it's not properly locked, it may open during flight, which is really dangerous. Senpai performs a final check of the flight controls. Outside the canopy, Aga checks the rope extending from the winch and connected to the glider. Harmony, please do a recheck. Senpai operates the release lever, and immediately the hook holding the rope is released. If it isn't released, it's possible that a big accident could occur, so it must be checked before landing. Okay! Aga gives a signal from outside and connects the two rope once again. We suddenly feel a lot more nervous. Now, the aircraft will fly through the air. Still doesn't feel real. For a start, could an aircraft that we made ourselves really fly? There's no engine, and it can't even flap its wings like a bird. So will it really be alright? I've had a theory explained to me many times, but if you don't get a feeling for what it's really like from a theory alone, if you want that, the only way is to fly. Finally, we could fly. Finally. Oh boy. The jitters. Don't let the jitters get to you, Ayo. Don't let the jitters get to you, otherwise you will kill perfectly beautiful females. Don't. Just don't. Senpai?
I'm okay. I'm not scared. The wings that everyone made together are much better than the ones I made, so we'll be okay.
Yeah.
Kotori got rid of all my fears just now, too. When it comes down to it, it's up to you, Ayo.
Leave it to me. This is why I trained on the simulator until I got sick of it. In my head, I go over the steps for takeoff. The most dangerous part of the flight is the landing. However, the takeoff is also dangerous, and accidents can easily occur. This time, I can rely on Senpai, but I need to learn a lot to understand even a little about how it's done. Aga taps the canopy from outside. Are you ready? Senpai and I replied, ready, and Aga walked around to the side of the aircraft and lifted up the left wing that was in contact with the ground, and the aircraft became level. The wings of a glider are really long, and it can't stand on its wheels like a normal plane, so it is placed with one of the wings touching the ground. That's why, when launching it, someone has to run along holding the wing up until it gains lift. They must be going pretty fast if we have to take lift on a glider. And in order to take lift, I'm pretty sure you need a lot of speed. They're gonna have to run pretty fast. Aga, who's holding the wing, gives a signal that launch preparations are complete to Kotori, who's waiting far away.
Here we go, Ayo.
As Senpai speaks quietly to me. Whoosh. The aircraft suddenly lifted up. Pulled by the winch, the glider quickly accelerates. The wheels bounce along the unpaved runway. Aga ran along while holding up the left wing. I look at her from the side and our eyes meet. See you when you get back! Whoosh! And there me and Senpai go, off into the sunset, to live up our lives. It was magical. Magical. A few seconds after the aircraft started moving along the runway, it felt like it was floating upwards. That was after only moving along a few meters. After it started to float slightly while accelerating.
It's rising.
Senpai pulled back on the yoke. The aircraft pointed upwards. I don't know what the angle was, but it felt like it was a really steep angle. Like really steep.
Up, and away!
To infinity and beyond! Oh, too much? Okay. I felt like it be needed there. And an animation too? An animation to go along with it? Hell yeah! I like this. I like this a lot. This is the moment we've all been waiting for. And it's beautiful. Whoa! My whole body was shaking from the G-force. It felt like the floating sensation was equal to the feeling of being pulled by the winch. I looked down through the canopy. However, at this angle, The main wings blocked by my field of vision, and I could hardly see the ground at all. How high are we now? Being concerned of the situation sowed the seeds of fear in my mind.
Releasing the tow rope.
Oh jeez. I hear music. Probably gonna have to remove it, so just in case of copyright. The feeling of being pulled suddenly disappears, and the aircraft floated gently like it had been set free. That's because it had been released from the winch. We're flying. From that moment, the glider was no longer borrowing power from something else. It was flying all by itself. I never experienced this before. This strange feeling of floating. The sound of the wind is extremely loud.
Ayo, please check the tow rope.
Whoa. I, sitting in the back seat, turned around to see the tow rope that had been safely released. The rope, with a small parachute attached, falls slowly to the ground. Release confirmed.
Alright, launch successful.
The glider was able to fly into the sky without any problems.
It's flying! It really is flying!
Hey, Kotori!
Aga! Look! It's flying!
Aha! I can see!
It's amazing! The wings that we made are flying!
Aha! Ooh. Wow! So that's what it looks like when it's flying. I'm getting all emotional. Oh, the rope's going down. We better go and retrieve it.
It looks like fun, Ayo!
Oh, it looks fun indeed. Trust me about that.
We really are flying. This is awesome! Don't look down. It's scary.
You don't need to look down. Please keep looking straight up ahead.
Roger that.
Whoa. I checked the ground in place of Senpai. I know it's not moving and all, but just the artwork and just the thought of it, it amazes me. It's so cool. We're about 300 meters above the ground. Oh, okay, I was gonna go get the tow rope. The tow rope, in other words, the rope coming out from the winch, was attached to the bottom of the aircraft by a hook. The hook can be detached at any time from the cockpit, and is usually done just before the glider reaches the point above the winch. Even if there is a problem with the controls for detaching it, once the glider goes past the point of being directly above the winch and is pulled from behind, it automatically releases. Once it's released, a small parachute is opened and it falls slowly back to the ground. If it's not attached, it can cause a terrible accident, so we must check to see if it has been released. As I sat in the back seat, I enjoyed the view from 300 meters above the ground. We're overlooking the city. I could see the roof of the Flying Fish Manor, which was quite closely to the runway. I could also see Aga's house, which looked tiny. Ah, it's a school. Wow, we're really flying.
Can you stop saying we're flying? It makes me feel really aware of it.
Oh, sorry. I hold my tongue and enjoy my first flight. When I saw the glider flying from below, it looked like it was really carefree as it flew, but once you actually ride it, it really does feel carefree at all. However, hearing the rushing sound of the wind, and the feeling that the wind resistance goes right into my body, are things that you don't get from a simulator. Those things are the forces that keep the glider, which has no thrust, in the air. Even when the aircraft moves down slowly, it doesn't feel like it's falling as it flies, leisurely through the wind.
These wings are great.
What's that?
The stability is outstanding. They really are different than the ones that I made.
It's all thanks to those guys.
Yeah, when we get back, let's give them lots of hugs. Turning.
She said as she tilts the yoke to the right. The aircraft leans to the right all of a sudden. Whoa! Senpai returns the yoke to its original position and corrects the aircraft, which is banked too far. But, oh boy. I was afraid of this.
Whoa!
She moves it too much and then banks to the left. Senpai, what are you doing?
But this... Whoa! I wonder what they're doing up there.
Don't know. Trusting the main wings?
Even so.
It doesn't look so good.
Omni, do you read me? Omni, do you read me? Again!
We received the transmission from Kotori.
It's shaking about. Are you okay? Whoa. Maybe not.
Senpai, calm down. Since a few moments earlier, Senpai, who had tried to level the aircraft, leaned it too far, and then back again, over and over.
The ailerons are too sensitive. Whoa. Ayo, it's your turn.
Okay. Senpai, I'm taking over.
I'll leave it to you.
Senpai let go of the controls. In her place, I take the controls from the back seat. Double-seater gliders have completely the same controls in both the front and back seats. Just like I did in the simulator. I try turning it using the yoke to control the air... and the elevator, as well as the pedals to control the rudder. I tilt the yoke to the right and the aircraft banks. You really only need to move the yoke back to the middle after banking, but in this case, it needs to be moved a little in the opposite direction. So, this is counter steer. I get it.
What's it, Bayo?
The direction of the is too sensitive, but it's okay. This won't be a problem. When I say that the reaction of the blah 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 is too sensitive, I mean that if I just move the yoke a little, the blah 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 will move more than usual, which causes the aircraft to lean too far. They're misaligned. If Senpai, who is really clumsy, were to use the controls like this, it could be a bit dangerous. Good thing you have me on the case. Are they okay?
They're fine. If the worst happens, they can always fall into the lake.
Hey, that's not gonna happen. Is it?
It's better than falling onto the ground.
Oh, they straightened it out.
Oh, yeah.
You're welcome, Senpai. Am I gonna have a special treat when we get back? I hope so. Please. Notice me. Oh, seems like we're level again.
Oh, are you alright, Ayo?
Yeah, something like that's no problem. It's a little hard to maneuver, but it should be fine once I get used to it. Okay, I'll pilot it for a while.
Yes, please.
For now, I'll just fly once around the runway. I slowly turn the aircraft and make it turn around above Kotori and Nageha. Hey guys! You look like little ants! Hey! Hey! Why is she getting so close?
I don't know! Oh, this shit is coming there!
My sense of humor is so weird, I swear. From above, I can see them both waving. I wonder if Anshan is watching us too. I can just make about the roof of Anshan's factory from here. I turn a little more, and now we're above the lake. This is it, Senpai. The final. Stop. Then we just crash. Okay. Shall we go to the other side of the lake?
Today, the airflow is stable, but it looks like it might be difficult to find any vertical drafts.
If we can't ride the vertical drafts, we can't raise the altitude. Even though we call it flying, in actuality, the glider is continually falling slowly, so there are no vertical drafts. We will have to land at some point.
But with these wings, we might be able to do it.
After that, if it looks bad, we'll turn around and come back. I think that was Aga's voice, and I think I read it wrong. Oh shit, more animation. Oh shit. That is cool. That is cool. Visual novel with a little bit of animation. I don't think I've ever seen a visual novel with animation before. Besides Necropile. I want it so bad. But it's coming out for PS4 and Switch. Oh, I can't wait. Want it. Huh? Where are they going?
Looks like they're heading to Windmill Hill.
Will they be able to get there?
I don't know.
The glider proceeds to fly across the lake. The altitude was gradually dropping, but they were alright for the time being.
I'll be watching the instruments.
Thank you. I learned how to read the instruments with the simulator, but I'm still not used to it. We just flew straight forward, and after a short time, the other side of the lake came into view. And it's so pretty. There, we saw the gentle slopes of the hill and the windmills lined up on top. Today, the wind is quite weak, so they weren't really turning that much.
What's that? I wonder. Where? See? Over there. It's coming this way. It's a plane, isn't it? Oh yeah, you're right. You've always had good eyesight. But it's flying awfully low. It doesn't look very fast either. It's flying so low, it's coming right at us! Ah! Look out! Ayo, you dumbass!
Oh, my sense of humor. It's on point. I love it. I love it so much. From over there, we saw you flying for the first time, Senpai.
Oh, back then, huh?
That was the day I came back to the sound. The day it all began. That time, Kotori was waving her hand at the glider. Did you see her?
No, I wouldn't have seen something like that. On that day, the airflow was really good, but strong, and I didn't feel very comfortable with it.
Oh. While we were speaking, we had crossed a lake and were now above the windmills. Just like Senpai did on that day, we slowly turned above the hill. I felt really strange to look down at the giant windmills from above.
It's turning very slowly. What a strange aircraft. Is that a glider by any chance? A glider? Yeah, maybe. Glider? It's flying so slowly. It looks like it would feel nice. If it had an engine, it could even fly faster. I wonder why it doesn't have one.
It doesn't need one. Look at this beaut. Look at this beaut in the air with a gorgeous chick and a handsome looking dude.
Ayo, we're losing a lot of altitude.
Roger, heading back. We can't stay here for long. We need to go back across the lake while we still have enough altitude, as we turn back towards the direction of the other side of the lake. I could see people on top of the hill. There are two of them. They must be girls. They seemed like they were looking up at us. They like gliders, the same as Kotori. While making that up in my head, I leave Windmill Hill behind me. And off, back to crash in Kotori and Aga. Or at Kotori and Aga. Whichever one. Whichever comes first.
It's gone. It's just floating. It seems quite unreliable. Yeah, but it feels like it was flying.
Oh, you're back.
It's pretty low, isn't it?
Looks like you're gonna land. Right for us, Roger!
Ayo, you fucking dumbass.
Come in, Io. Can you hear me? Loud and clear. Now commencing landing. Roger. But when they say land, well then, I'll return the controls to you.
Roger that.
Nodding nervously, Senpai grips the yoke. It's said the landing is the most common time for glider accidents to occur, because it's going from flying to being in contact with the ground. One mistake can mean it's very easy to suffer some kind of physical damage. The landing is difficult when you push the yoke forward to lower the altitude. The speed can increase. If you're traveling too fast, there will be a large impact when landing. You won't be able to stop after landing. It's possible to go past the end of the runway and collide with something. That's why you need to lower the altitude while keeping the speed as low as possible. For that reason, the main wings of the glider are equipped with several types of lift-reducing apparatus. By reducing lift, the altitude can reduce without increasing the speed. Even though glider is quite simply built, there are several different devices equipped for taking off and landing.
They're on the way down.
All right, just like that. And we did it. We did our first flight. Hell yeah. That's the moment we've all been waiting for. My game froze. But that's the moment we've all been waiting for. 26 or 7 episodes, and we did it. And stick the landing, I might add. A bit. Bam! Ah.
Ow.
Senpai, in the way that could almost be described as a rough landing, set us down on the ground in a way that felt like we were falling. The glider, returning to Earth, ran along for a few meters before the wheel's brakes stopped it. Welcome back! As we opened the canopy, Aga thrust her face inside. We made it. We made it. Taking off the seatbelt, I clambered out of the narrow cockpit. Senpai, are you okay?
Yeah, I'm alright.
Senpai slowly takes off her seatbelt. Her eye twitched a bit, I saw that. I think. I get out first, and help Senpai get out too. It's been a while. Well, about 10 minutes. But I strangely missed being able to put my feet on the ground. Oh, sweet ground. Oh, I missed you. It tastes like ass.
How was it?
Kotori, arriving a little later than Aga, rushes ahead and starts firing questions at us. Well, how should we put it? It was awesome! It felt totally incredible. No other impressions came to mind.
I thought it would be.
How long were we flying for? About 15 minutes.
Hey, did you go above Windmill Hill?
Yeah, just for a little while. I got a pretty good look at it.
Sounds great.
Good work, Harmony. I got past some mineral water to Senpai. The cockpit, which was continually being hit with direct sunshine, was unbearably hot inside. Oh, I don't think it was the sunlight. I don't think it was that at all. But that's what you can think.
Thanks.
How were the main wings?
They glided through the air much more smoothly than before. It felt really good. All right.
But partway through, it started to wobble, didn't it?
Yeah, the others were too twitchy. We just need to adjust them slightly.
Were there any other problems?
Let me see.
Nope. Better not be. While Kotori and I were overwhelmed with excitement, beside us, Aga and Senpai were talking about it in a very matter-of-fact manner.
I need to fly it a bit more to be sure, but I think that's about it for now.
Understood. Well then, shall we just Aga enthusiastically goes over to get the tools. What are you doing? Come help us, you guys. Let's fly as much as possible today. The test had only just started. But we can't get enough of it. Then we did a few more tests. The main objective for today was to test the main wings that had just been completed and check the repaired instruments. Also, to give me flight training. Thanks to the work I put into the simulator, I was able to control it from the very beginning. I only realized this from flying the real thing, but the simulator that Senpai had made gives a pretty realistic feeling of flying. I had to say that's what I expected from her. After adjusting I practiced taking off and landing, and was able to use the basic maneuvers. Did we ever go through the passage of sky, or whatever it was called? I think, hopefully. Because I want to make Senpai happy. Hopefully we did it. Or hopefully we're going to do it, if we didn't. As I came back from the 5th flight, Aga comes over to us. Good work! I groan as I open the canopy. It's so hot. Food, water, atmosphere. If you understand that reference, I salute you. Here, have some water. It looks like if you want to fly in this season, water is indispensable. You've really gotten used to it, haven't you? Yeah. My body's used to being in the cockpit now. My body is ready.
When you turned just now, it was beautiful. Also, when you landed, You're smoother than when Amane did it.
Hey! Give Senpai some credit. Sheesh.
Ayo's improving quickly.
Senpai speaks in a way that is hard to interpret whether she's pleased or if she's sulking. It would appear that she still has a complex about her clumsiness. I'm feeling quite worn out. I'm gonna take a little break. Getting back on the ground, my legs are a little unsteady. Rather than actually being tired, being in the air for so long has messed up my sense of balance.
We've done enough testing. Maybe we can do some more after we had some lunch.
Shall we do that? We continue with that line of conversation, then Kotori says, "Oh yeah, we never gave Kotori her own test flight."
I want to ride it too!
I don't see what's the problem. I don't see why we can't. Senpai looked up at me. No, I can't let her ride it with me. You're the one with the license, Senpai.
But you're already better than me.
That might be true for just normal flying, but there's no guarantee that there won't be any problems. If something happens, I won't be able to deal with it.
Amane, you fly!
Are you serious? Aga responds instinctively, and Senpai seems a little hurt. However, when I was sitting in the back seat, watching Senpai at the controls, I certainly did feel quite nervous.
It's fine. I think it's worth risking my life for.
It's flying on the wings that we made, after all. Kotori swallows as she nods.
Okay, I understand. Well then, shall we fly one more time before lunch? Yay!
At her wheelchair, Kotori throws her arms into the air. Okay, I'll operate the winch. Ayo, we're putting Kotori in the back seat, so give me a hand. Sure. Oh, she finally gets her test flight. Aga and I pick up Kotori and put her in the back seat. How's your seat? Does it feel too loose?
It feels just right.
What's up, Senpai?
I'm a bit worried because I don't have Ayo here to help me.
It's okay, you'll be fine without me for just one flight.
And then I'll have all the flights with you. You'll never leave my side.
But just this one is perfectly acceptable. Don't worry. I'm here on the ground cheering you on. Oh, I know how you feel, but the person in the back should be even more worried.
I'm fine!
While we continue the preparations, Aga waits over by the winch. The launch preparations were complete. I gave Aga the signal to commence the launch.
I'm so excited! 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 Huh?
The winch isn't moving at all. Uh-oh. Hey, what's the problem? Aga is waving in this direction. The next moment... Well then. That's not good. Black smoke was coming from the winch.
There's some sort of smoke coming out! Huh? Oh yeah.
I'll be back, just in case. Please release the tow rope from now.
Roger.
I checked that Senpai had released the tow rope, then run over to the winch. What's up? It looks like it's broken. Great. Looking at the black smoke rising up like a signal beacon, I got called out, completely at a loss of what to do. Great.
It's no good. It's broken.
Senpai sounded like she was in complete despair as she looked at the inside of the winch, which was covered in oil.
Oh, really?
Kotori, who really wanted to fly, was downhearted. It looked like one of the parts was an dilapidated oil machine had broken and we could no longer use it. It's a good thing we had happened before we tried to launch. If this happened during takeoff, there could have been an accident. Senpai nods as if to say, you're right. Can this be fixed?
This might be hard to do ourselves. We need to ask a professional to fix it.
That's going to take a long time, isn't it?
It will take more than just a day or two.
For start, even getting someone to come and get such a bulky machine would be a tough job in itself. To tell the truth, I'm worried about the cost and the time it'll take. Sure.
That's all for today's testing. Oh my god!
Sitting in a wheelchair, Kotori goes white with shock. I'm sorry, Kotori. I'm sorry. But hey, at least you saw it fly, right? Right. That's all you can ask for, right? Yeah. Okay. All right. Well, that's where we're going to end off for this episode. I'd like to thank you all so much for watching. I hope you guys did enjoy, and I'll catch you on the next one. Hasta la vista, baby.